everybody, Danielle Egnew here. Welcome to InPsight Radio, where you are a fly on the wall to everywhere. Thank you for joining us this week. And this week, I am so super excited to have one of my besties ever in the studio with us today. We've had her on the show before, Marcia Reichert, who is, of course, a vocal healer, is with us. And I'm going to get into her list of amazing credits in a minute. Yet Marcia has been on a walkabout all over the country, and we'll get into that in a minute. So I'm so excited to have you back to your native Montana. Marcia Reichert is the developer, the initiator, the person who made it all happen of the channeling divine tuning modality. And you can actually read more about that online at channelingdivine.com. She's a certified hypnotist amongst many other certifications that she has. She is a Reiki master. She is a psychic. She is a channel. She is an elemental aficionado. And this woman can actually fix a Harley. Welcome, Marcia.
Hi, Danielle. How are you? It's so good to be here.
Well, I am just absolutely awesome, and I am so excited to have you. And what do you think of the new studio?
I love this. This is so cool.
Isn't it?
The view and just everything around here is awesome.
Isn't it? It's like this totally fabulous space to be in. So I am super happy to have you, girl.
Thank you.
And just tell our listeners, where the heck have you been?
My goodness.
Yeah, where have you been?
I've been all over the place. This last trip, I went to Maryland, straight out there, and then tooled around there for a while, did a few shows in Virginia and Maryland, and then went south to Charleston and Savannah. Oh, love Savannah.
I love me some Savannah.
And I had so much fun in Charleston, too, because we got together and did some channeling there, and that was a blast. Some hypnosis work as well. So, and then I went down to Sarasota, Florida, did some wonderful healing there because there was somebody apparently spreading around black magic. So God knows that we need to get rid of that. So put a stop to that and then had some more really fantastic hypnosis sessions and past life work and all kinds of wonderful stuff. And then went up to Tennessee for a couple weeks and got to do some shows there and spend some time in the land between the lakes.
Ooh, that's cool. And you were telling me that the land between the lakes, there were two rivers there, and they dammed that area up. So people lost their land. They lost their longtime family homesteads because it all flooded over everything.
Right, exactly. People were totally displaced, and the cemeteries as well. That's not a pretty thing sometimes.
No, it's called Poltergeist. The movie Poltergeist was written on that premise. That's just bad all the way across.
Exactly.
There's a reason Hollywood takes advantage of disadvantage. I mean, that's terrible.
Exactly. So did lots of healing while I was there on both me and the land and the souls that were still kind of hanging around and trying to find their way. So it was cool. It's always wonderful to do those kind of things. So,
and I'm so glad that that's what you love to do.
Yes,
I mean, you
is.
get out there and you just commune with the land. You commune with the people. You use your voice to channel energy, to transmute energy. And I've been talking a lot on the podcast about the attributes of different vocal healing techniques, vibrational healing. Even just now with you and I talking, I have to tell everybody this. I've been really struggling with a head cold, with a chest infection, and that's all that upper bronchial. It's chakra 4A, which is speaking the needs of your heart. And I've been on the Ascension tour. So we got back from Portland very recently, and we're getting ready to go over to Boulder on September 22nd.
Ooh, cool.
I know, right? Boulder's awesome. Woo! Portland was awesome. And so, I mean, you carry all of this goober with you. And so I'm sitting in your presence, and you have a very high vibration. And just now my ears popped open.
Oh, awesome.
I know, right?
That's always good.
I know. So I'm sorry if our monitor levels here are making you absolutely deafened, because my ears have been so stuffed up just with this thing that as I've been channeling these messages. it has been changing the resonation of my body.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. It so does that.
Doesn't it, though? And so the DNA, right, it's shifting inside of me. And so all of this, like, I don't mean to be gross, gang, but this is just the truth. I mean, your cells release toxins. Pretty soon your body is attacking those toxins. That equals snot in reality.
Yeah.
So I've been full of snot. And I'm like, okay, God. So at least I can talk now, which is great. But after Portland, man, all of this stuff in my body came forward. And nothing was wrong with Portland at all. It was just, it's an expulsion zone. So there's a lot of geomagnetic activity coming up through there and a lot of messages. So my body was going, okay, sister, you're going to clear this out or what? So I had to come back to Montana where it's dry.
Yes, exactly.
And just dry out some of the snot, because that's just what happens with your body when you're channeling. Yet what I want to talk about with you today, Marcia, speaking of vibration, is this choice that we are being asked to make right now in our feminine time frame during this ascension period. And we are all being asked whether or not we are going to choose a particular vibration for our life. And let me frame this up just a bit. You know what I'm talking about. And just so our listeners understand, like attracts like in the spiritual universe. So when we choose to surround ourselves with low vibration situations, dramas, etc., and so on, that definitely affects our life path. And
absolutely.
Oh my heavens. And so what we're going to talk about today is what vibration are you choosing for your life and why? Because we are at a critical juncture in our development where we don't really get to have the range of experimental time that we used to when we did not have an accelerated time frame. And as example, back in the day, we could noodle around with all kinds of people doing all kinds of weird stuff, and we'd have those lessons of being pulled into the drama and blah, and 5 years would go by and blah. Well, we are being asked right now, look, bring your spiritual gifts and talents to the table. So we kind of can't do that if we're distracting ourselves with different vibrations than are intended for our gifts and talents. So let's lead out, Marcia, and I'm going to throw this to you. I'm going to start with, we've heard about this in the 90s, the 2000s, the mid-2000s, the identity of drama in our lives. Drama is a vibration. So let's talk a little about people who are constantly being involved in dramas, and why do you think they go there, and how do you think that affects our personal vibration? Go for it.
Well, I think drama is an addiction, and I think that a lot of people like to get stuck in an addiction, and it's not a judgment against them. This whole Trump thing, for instance, constantly talking about Trump and how horrible he is if you don't like him will keep you in the same vibration, the same muck, the same yuck. At the same time, you've got friends that are probably against what you think, so that makes even more drama. And you're watching stuff on TV and getting angry about it, which is making a little more drama and adding on top of everything. And then maybe you have a breakup. And then, so that adds on top of everything. And you think that, oh my God, I can't get out of this slump that I'm in. That just continues to allow you to be in an area where it's comfortable. But just because it's comfortable doesn't mean it's good for you. That will just breed more. It seems like it's comfortable, but it's really not. It will just breed more of the same crap that you had going on. So if you can shut off the TV.
I know it's hard because we all love Anderson Cooper's eyebrows, but try hard, okay?
Yeah, if you can shut off the TV, that helps get you out of that drama a little bit. If you can, tell your friends that you need to get away for a little while and spend some time with yourself and see what nature is trying to give you around you. That helps a ton. So, there are always good vibrations coming out of nature.
Oh, yes.
Even if there is something going on, there's an earthquake happening in the area. It's going to shake up vibrations a little bit, but there's still love being given to you from that earth.
And exactly right. And so going back to the point that you made about if you're getting, you said drama's an addiction.
Yes.
Okay, so the energy, and I just love to break down energies. I'm just a weird little psychic bloodhound over here. So we're going to break down those energies. I find you to be accurate. Well, in 1,000 different ways, actually. That's a long sentence. However, in this identification of drama being an addiction, it's my observation in these energies that people actually enact or engage dramas as a replacement for intimacy in their life. Like they've never been taught how to create a real, true, loving relationship. So if there's the big drama and the oh my God, and you didn't call me, and you didn't call me either, and you defriended me, wait, now we have to make up. It's like the serotonin rush in the brain, the fight or flight mechanism and the amygdala that you're talking about. That creates an addiction to the chemical of the rush of whether it's anxiousness or it's resolve. We do get addicted to that. And I think to take that a step further as biological creatures, we then substitute that for our actual emotional intimacy.
Right.
And really, truly, emotional intimacy it's drama-less. And so many of us don't even know what that feels like.
Yeah, because what would peace feel like?
Oh my God, it might be boring. Oh my God, Marcia, we might be bored. But it's not boring, right? I mean,
no, it's so not boring. And then, I'm a biker, so that lots of people that I know go out and ride their motorcycles so that they can get what feels like peace to them. And it's still a vibration. That Harley is still vibrating.
Heck
that wind is still beating you in the face, but it's by yourself. It's a different vibration than spending a lot of time with a lot of other people's stuff. And it just does connect you in a different way.
Well, and I think it's interesting you brought up the Harley vibration because you can hear that. For those of us that are not bikers, guys, that's that loud rumbling chunk, 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 chunk sound.
Yay!
As a Harley goes through town. And I've had the opportunity to ride. I'm not a biker myself. I love to ride periodically. I am running constantly probabilities of when I pass drivers and I'm a passenger on a motorcycle. It's really hard for me to relax on a motorcycle.
You're so busy.
I can't help it. I am busy because I can feel how distracted all these other people are that are driving. And I'm thinking, hey, you texting. I'm on the back of a little rocket here in Montana. You should always wear a helmet, people, okay? Montana is one of those states where it's not mandatory, although I will if I'm on the back of a bike just because I'm paranoid. Because I can feel how distracted all these other several-ton bullets are that are rolling down the street that are called a Dodge Ram pickup, and nobody's paying attention to me on the back of this bike. And I'm like, you're going to kill me. What is up with you? Anyway.
This is why we don't let Danielle ride very often, because you can feel, no offense, because I love you so much.
I love you
can
too.
Feel how the anxiety level is raising. It's not a comforting thing.
Sorry,
for her.
honey. I know. And if it's Marcia, the psychic biker, and I'm on the back of Marcia's bike, it's like, sorry about that. Sorry, man. Sorry. Probability of impact, 14%. That is 14% more, Marcia, than I am comfortable. She's like, will you just absorb the ride? God. So I don't know how the hell I got way off topic there, but the point is vibration, right? So if you're on a Harley and there is that vibration, that actually can trigger theta wave patterns in the brain.
You bet.
And that's a meditation.
And it does for me. Obviously, it doesn't for her.
Well, it does for a while until I come up on person who is so absorbed in the fight, in the drama of the fight they had with their spouse in their pickup truck, and they're coming right up on, on where we're supposed to be.
You bet. And it's not like that hasn't happened to me before either,
Yeah, and they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention because they are in the vibration of their own drama rather than being present on the road. And I think that's a hazard for people, whether you're on a motorcycle or not. Yet when we talk about the vibration of riding a motorcycle or why are we addicted to dramas, I have been noticing that there are many people right now, especially spiritual workers, light practitioners, who are feeling I'm just going to speak plainly on today's podcast. I generally do, but I'm really going to get plain here. People are because I've been noticing this with clients, and it's a lot of people from the United States also, but I've also been encountering this with my clients in Australia and the UK and over in the Netherlands, is that our light workers are experiencing, well, humanity across the board is experiencing DNA changes.
Yes.
And so our light workers are really experiencing feeling like they just don't fit in with some of their groups of friends anymore. If I can just I can just flat out say it. And it's not that we don't love these people, but I would love for you to expand on that. Have you experienced something like that?
Absolutely. And my groups of friends personally all over the country, they come and they go. There's a few that, like you, that will always be in my life. You know, there's a few other ones all around the country actually that will always be in my life. But there's a few that I just, in order to preserve myself, have needed to let go and allow them to do their own thing, because of the vibration difference between me and whoever I'm hanging around, you know. And I've been accused of having a double standard, of always being like a cartoon character, always being happy, always, you know, you think your life is so grand. Well, it really is grand.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important that you own your happiness. It is okay for you to be a happy person in America. Continue, Marcia.
Thank you. I love that permission.
Yeah, right? I mean, but we don't let ourselves be happy, do we? Because especially,
right.
You know,
feel guilty about it because, oh my gosh, I'm spending time in this person's house and I'm not paying for it. That's been one of my big hangups, is that I don't expect people to want to just gift that to me.
And to back up a little, for those who don't understand some of Marcia's practice or her life, she has friends and colleagues all over the United States and actually all over the world. You got them over in the UK. And when you go to do that work in Scotland and Ireland and England. Russia. I mean, you know, you're over there. So for you people want to host you. You know,
right.
And this goes back to, if we think about it, it goes back to spiritual travelers. Lots of people hosted Jesus. You know, you're in good company to get hosted, right? So what she's talking about, gang, is so many of us, especially for women, and it's not to discount you fellas, because I know you guys have a whole different sociological standard that you get slapped upside the head with. And I am not a man. I don't know what that experience is, but I am very aware of it, and I'm compassionate towards you guys because of it, because it's weird what you guys have had to grow up under. If somebody made me say I'm not supposed to feel anything and I'm supposed to be this person who never, you know, flinches or cries and I'm just a money-making machine, I would give them the biggest bird. I would have two birds. I have a left and right hand. I'd be like, I'll tell you where you can stick this don't cry thing, right where it doesn't matter. So for you, she's talking about receiving, gang. And for Marcia and for many of us that are women, we're taught that being the martyr is our value.
Yes, absolutely.
Be a virgin and a martyr, and you're going to die. Well, you'll die compressed and sad and broken, but by our
but you'll go to heaven,
right? The virgin martyr. Wow. See, at least you guys, fellas, you've had a lot smacked upside your head, but at least you didn't get stuck with the virgin martyr thing. That is ridiculous. God, that gets two spiritual birds from me too, by the way, the virgin martyr thing. But anyway, so continue. So you feel like you've observed that you have had people in your life that you love dearly, that you will always love.
Yeah.
So explain to our listeners, I want to know, because I have my own definition. You are a very seasoned practitioner. I want to know what your definition of different vibrations is.
So I'm not exactly sure I can explain that right now. I can see it in my head, but I'm not sure I can explain that. And sometimes that's a hang up for me.
What's it look like? What's it look like in your head?
It looks like a thermometer, kind of, where you've got different levels of different things, and you can go up, you can go down, but you don't want to go down past a certain level. You want to keep it kind of even, kind of like your body temperature, you know, but you want to keep it up in vibration as much as you can. And yes, we're all going to have those things that slap us upside the head and make us angry or sad or whatever, but it helps us, when you keep your vibration up, it helps us move through those things rather than getting stuck in them and just living that torment and that torture.
And for me, the difference in vibration, and this is where I think as practitioners, we can really spread some clarity, in my opinion, is that when I talk about higher or lower vibration, I am not assigning a value to one being better.
Right.
I'm talking about slower or faster wavelengths. Okay. Now, as example, a slow wavelength is a bass signal. If you're listening to the bass, it's all about the bass. And the bass, literally, if you look at a bass signal on a spectrograph and you look at that sound wave, it's a slow moving wave, and it takes about 30 feet for that bass signal to cross the medium point or the sine line. So in essence, that means for we peasants out here, that means that you got to be 30 feet away from a bass cabinet at a concert to really hear the full boom of the bass. If you're standing 6 feet from the bass, it's going to sound real thin because the bass is maximized 30 feet away because it's a slow, big wavelength. Now, as opposed to a treble, which is, not the treble, treble is a fast wavelength. Literally, it crosses the sine line many times in the same bandwidth. So when I talk about lower or higher vibration, I am not talking about better or worse. I am talking about, is your bandwidth compatible? Is it a low, slow bandwidth, or is it a very high? Is it a high, quick bandwidth? It doesn't matter what it is. It's just that I am personally noticing that there are many people, especially in the United States, who want to remain in this tape loop of a lower bandwidth emotional and spiritual projection that is drama, that is argument, that is basically just keeping us on the Kardashian version of the surface of what our capability is. Because as long as we are distracted by what we think is huge purpose, because drama can also make us feel like we have a purpose in the world.
Absolutely.
And so I'm noticing that a lot of light workers, a lot of human beings are just saying, I just am disconnecting from all this drama. And a lot of people are choosing to live a life that is consistent with the peace that they want to emanate. And so for me personally, that vibrational difference is, how do you live your life every day? What's coming out of your mouth? Are you somebody, and this is not a judgment. It's just, I personally, at 49 years old, in the type of work that I do, are you kidding? I don't cast judgment on anybody. I am a musician. I can swear like a sailor if I get ripping. My liver can't handle the Patron shots I used to do when I was 25. But I'm not a saint, okay? Yet I must live and project love into the world in a way that my body can handle it at this time frame.
Right.
Because it makes me physically, I will get ill, I will get sick. If I'm around people that are constantly, that vibration literally hits my flesh and it pulls it apart at this point. So can you speak to the idea, Marcia, that drama can also be a distraction? Can you speak to why we would need that distraction in our life?
Why we would need it? I know I get it a lot because I have a lot of people that feel very dependent on me. So I have people contact me and say continuously that they are afraid that they can't get through this, that they can't move on. And if you think it's you, it may be and it may not be, because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of people who feel like they
who
can't.
Come to me
who come to
about this type of thing. Sometimes I think it might help us stay grounded. It might help us feel needed. And we do need to feel needed.
Yeah, that's true. So you're saying that the drama can make us feel grounded or feel needed, or can present a situation where if we participate with it, then we have a purpose? Is that what you're saying?
Right. But at the same time, does it really feed your soul? Is that what really feeds your soul? Probably not.
Yeah. So it's like if I may, so are you saying it's like a temporary feeling of purpose?
It is. It's very temporary. It's for 2 minutes, while you send that text back and that person is feeling your vibration. And then you move on to something else and it's gone.
So then you go seeking that next person who needs you.
Right.
And it's this.
There's where the addiction happens. Exactly.
Okay, so how do we guide our listeners to come out of that? And we've been trained, America. We've been trained to put your needs on the back burner and be needed and be useful for something.
Right.
And this is the time frame of being. Just what you are is enough. You don't always have to be something for somebody else. And of course, help your friends, be there for your family. I mean, obviously, you guys, we're not saying check out.
Right.
Yet, what we're talking about is the overextension of the self and how people demand that of you at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many people have people in their life that won't talk to them unless they're getting something from you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have that problem.
Yeah, unless you're giving them something. I mean, and I was just talking to Marcia about this, gang. It was really hard. When I first moved up here to Gallatin Gateway, and I could feel the energy difference. This is a very feminine energy in the earth.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely gorgeous up here. I just love it. Everything is feeding you.
Yeah.
Nothing feels like it's taking away at all, ever.
And you know what's weird? And I'll speak to myself for this. I had a really hard time when I first moved here because of that. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't know how to receive that much unconditional earth love. I didn't know how to do it because I come from such a young culture in entertainment. Mm-hmm. Even Billings, my hometown, your hometown, that is a very young, a very masculine. What can you do for me? Be something for people, you know?
Go, 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 go.
Yeah. And so to move here, where the earth just wants to give to you, I literally went through a bit of a depression for a couple of weeks, just trying to equalize my energies. Because, and you guys, we both work in this field. And even for me, it came up, who are you if you're not giving something to someone?
Right, yeah.
And the wounds that we have around that are they're so horrible, you know? So we talk about the dramas, so we get involved with these dramas. So we feel like we have a purpose. Give everybody an example of a common drama that people can get looped into that distracts them from just being, which creates the radiation of their actual vibration, which brings what they really want into their life. Give people an example of a daily distraction or drama that comes up for us.
Well, watching the news, the morning news is one of them. Who knows what actual facts are on there, really?
It depends on which broadcaster you're watching. It's fascinating which franchise they're pushing that day.
But it doesn't really matter which one it is. They're all trying to sensationalize everything. So, because it's TV, we won't watch it if it's boring.
That's right. Not until we come to a place of peace and can actually really quantitatively adopt content for the beauty of what it is. But we've been trained on drama.
Right, exactly. So then you get that daily dose at 7:45 or whatever time you listen to all this. And
God
it might be
you.
On your way to work. It might be on the radio that you listen to it. But every day you get that daily dose of drama. And then you're attracting more drama into your life. And you know, as much as a lot of spiritual friends that I have, including me, have worked to avoid that, we're always dragging it back in somehow. So the more you can keep yourself from doing that, the better.
And I think we're always dragging it back in somehow. It's because we've been trained that way.
Right.
You know, especially now, fellas, people want to say drama's a woman thing. Guys.
No.
Oh, guys. Oh, I love you, fellas. I love you so much. When I was playing music, it was easier for me to play music with women because if there was an interpersonal problem, if somebody had a cow, if something was melting down, a gal would just come and talk to you about it. Mm-hmm. You know, poor fellas, especially 25 years ago, guys. You got to remember, we're talking about very intense generational programming here. 25 years ago, I would work with fellas, and if there was now, if you're one of the fellas I worked with, obviously we didn't have this issue, okay? But overall, if you were working with fellas, if there was a problem, they would never tell you. It would just come out sideways in tantrums and freakouts and everything. Like they would never let you know what their needs were. So you could never create an environment where everybody was comfortable. There would just be this one person who happened to be male melting down constantly because things weren't what they needed. And I'm like, finally, I was just like, God, you guys are too high maintenance, man. Just tell me what you need and let's go to the next phase. But then it took me years to realize that these poor guys had been trained to not ever ask for what they need.
Right.
You know, and it just created a lot of drama.
And it's funny that that's the environment that grew up in, that I was taught was right. So I went to work at factories. I went to work at the refineries. Those were my favorite jobs. Yes, I did a lot of bartending, but I bartended in bars where it was all men. And so I liked that fact that they didn't tell me everything. Because that's where I was. I was putting on this big old front of this big old biker bitch that didn't have to talk about how she felt.
Right.
And that's a Capricorn thing too. Capricorns don't like talking about how we feel because that's
Isn't that weird that like I'm your weird bestie?
Right?
Like, how do you feel? How are you feeling? And you're like, oh my God.
Fuck feeling again. Or feeling again.
It's good for you, Marcia. It's good for you.
But that's how much I've shifted now because now I feel all the time and I love feeling. It's wonderful to feel all this. Even the anger that I feel sometimes is it's easier for me to feel it, get it out, and let it go. So yeah, I have road rage for 3 whole seconds. And then I'm done.
Yes, I've processed and handled this and it's moved on.
Exactly. That is not how I used to live my life. That all used to build up until I really was ready to kill somebody. And it's a good thing I didn't carry around a gun. That's
a good thing. Capricorns, always take a deep breath. I love you all. And so with this, we're talking about imprinting. We're talking about how me as a younger person, I was easy to push my buttons, as a Pisces, I could go really sideways. Yet as we get older, and especially if we choose to work in this field, if we choose to be someone who is making awarenesses on transitions and trying to teach on those awarenesses, then if we're surrounding ourselves with people that are continually choosing a different lesson, and those lessons are valid, gang. So listen, this is not a judgment. I'm not saying dump all your friends that aren't as holy as you are. That's a creepy religious statute, and that is not what I'm talking about. If you have friends and family members whose dyed-in-the-wool lesson is gossiping, pick-a-little-tockling, getting involved with the lowest or the shallowest common denominator of, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? And that's the only level they are comfortable with in connection. Okay, So hear this, everybody. And your life is those people or and we're going to jump tracks to a very sensitive subject here in just 2 seconds. I had to wait 2 seconds. If we're jumping tracks into, let's talk about sex a minute.
Sure.
Let's talk about how people have a very hard time bonding on the spiritual, emotional, and physical manner through sexual activity. They have a really hard time with the intimacy of that. Mm-hmm. So they use sex as a great big rush. And hey, do whatever you want with your sex life. Go, go, go. If you're having it, rock on, because so many people aren't anymore. And that's half of our dysfunction in America. Mm-hmm. Yet if you're having a healthy sexual experience, we exchange tremendous amounts of energies through those root chakras.
Right.
And I don't care if you're having sex with women, men, whatever it is, we still exchange, and also through the heart chakra, and also through the throat chakra, and also through the third eye. I don't care if it's a one-night stand. I don't care if it's somebody you've never met. That's what opens up when we have sex. Mm-hmm. So we create a lot of drama around sex, so we can avoid the intimacy of these things. Drama, and then I'm going to throw it to you in a second here, because I know you got a lot to talk about here. Yet, women, how many times have you done this one? Well, I hooked up with him and he never called me again, so I texted him 1,000 times. Ladies, no one finds desperation sexy. How about this, guys? Well, I had sex with her and it was so great, it opened me up that I never called her again because it scared the crap out of me because I felt something. Guys, emotional fear is not sexy, So we've got to work through these things because we are not taught that intimacy is where our currency lies. So we get into sexual dramas that are just unbelievable. Oh my God, I'm going to sleep with this married person because I feel like I'm finally getting attention from somebody. And I know we have this deep connection. And I know I probably shouldn't keep going back and doing it, but I am. And this is not about morality. It's about, does that really filling you up? If it's really filling you up, knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. Yet I get calls, oh my goodness, from men and women who've fallen in love with partnered people, who've fallen in love with them back, and for whatever reason, those dance cards don't clear up, and they stay in those karmic relationships, and it's not bad or good. It's not moral nor immoral. It's how much tread do you want off your tires in that particular off-road situation. And if you want to donate the tread, go for it. rock on. Yet if you're laboring under it and all of a sudden the addiction to the naughtiness of it becomes the reason you're with that person, you honest to God are substituting drama for intimacy.
Or it might start out that way.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason we want to have sex with that person is because I am cheating and it is fun and it gives me that rush. And that's the only thing that gives me that rush. You know what? The rush is better if there's an intimacy in it.
Yeah.
It's way more brain chemicals spilled out in you.
That are happy and loving and just phenomenal. So what have you noticed? Because your work takes you to some really unique areas that my work does not take me.
Right.
And so, you know, without outing anybody's personal stuff, because that's not what we are here to do on this show, what has been your observation with, say, the use of sexuality, drama, and distraction?
Oh my goodness. I've run into people who have been the host for thousands of sexual encounters. You know, I'm talking about people having different stations in their house where they could have a different sexual encounter with a different person 6 or 7 times in one night.
Whoa. Like one person
Yeah.
would hook up 6 or 7 times in one night.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of chi, man.
That's
That's a lot of resettling. That's a lot of, I mean,
you know what else it is a lot of DNA that if it's a woman, a lot of DNA that she's taking on.
Yeah. Well, and explain that to our gals.
Well, we're the receivers, gals. We can't be the pitchers.
Or for those gay men, or for those gay men
Yeah.
out there listening. So keep going.
Yeah. So we take on that DNA. If it comes into our body, we take it on, and it stays there. And you know, the men, if they're heterosexual men, they don't necessarily experience this as much because they can't take in as much DNA as a woman can. But that stays with us, you know, and then we have to process that through. And sometimes we don't process it through. I don't know if it has to be a conscious thing or not, but it needs to be processed through so that we can actually let go of the stuff that's not ours. It might be that it comes up suddenly, you have somebody else's past life memory and you think it's yours because it's in you, but it's not really yours. It came from somebody else entirely. You might have genetic things that came into you suddenly because you had sex with somebody that had a completely different cultural background from you. But now you've got that on top of everything that you did have. So you're processing all of this energy, and some of it's an actual physical thing. So there's more levels to this than you really think to begin with. You just think, I mean, the people in this just think, oh my gosh, look at how many people I can get with today, you know, and it's not, I don't know that it should be about that. A lot of times I see that it's damaged people that need healing in a deep, deep level, that are searching for that healing, that aren't getting it, but they're trying to replace it with all these sexual encounters. So, and that's a really deep truth that most of them aren't even willing to admit.
And when we look at vibration, you know, and obviously, Marcia, I didn't take one piece of what you said as a judgment. There was not a stitch of energetic judgment in that. You're sitting in observation saying, hey, this is the way it goes. And fellas, you know, you're still, even though you may not be, for our heterosexual gentlemen, you may not be picking up in the same manner, you're still getting DNA all over you, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You might not be taking it, you know, it gets a little in there, but you're not taking it as far into the root chakra areas. And so, fellas, you got to think about this too, you know, because we are talking about vibration. Now, is Marcia saying never have sex? Heck no.
Hell no, not in my world.
She's just saying, you know, these are the things that we are divorced from by our, especially American culture, because we're taught, let's not talk about sex. Let's not talk about vibration. Let's not talk about DNA. Let's not even think about this. And obviously, you know, you can use protectionary devices and not leave little packets of DNA everywhere you go, fellas. Yet, I mean, you know, when we look at this, it's again, I know a lot of women, okay? And the rush is, am I going to get pregnant or not? That's the big high in the head is, and I always felt kind of bad for my heterosexual friends because I was never wired to partner sexually with men, ever. I mean, I love my guy friends. They're my besties, and I love you guys. Yet there was like just this little switch that kind of went click. If it was going to go into a sexual situation, it's like, oh, this is odd. I wonder why we're doing this. So, I mean, some of these women I've known have wanted to use this. It's the high they get because they can't establish enough value or purpose in their life for who they are. So we create external experiences, whether it's how many people can I have sex with? What's the biggest roller coaster I can go on? What's the most dangerous affair I can have? Maybe I'll get pregnant, maybe I won't. I mean, that's the whole no, naughty part of it. And that comes from a lot of religious suppression too. However, look at all the stuff we do to distract ourselves from truly drawing oneness into our life.
Right.
So is
the purpose of your life to see how many people you can have sex with and how much DNA you can run through your body, or is your purpose really to find love?
And to be love.
Yeah.
And maybe, and I do know, so I'm going to insert this here. I do know there are people that are created on this earth that actually participate they are wired to be sexual healers. Mm-hmm. And that's a real thing, gang. I'm not one of those people, so I can't speak intelligently to that, but I have known them. And their vibration is very, very different. Yet their goal is not to get with 50 people because it's a distraction and it's a rush, and that means they don't have to go home and do their taxes or deal with their boring spouse, or their boring kids or whatever. That's a whole different thing. So there is a caste, if you will, or a vibration or a grouping of people who are literally wired to meet people where they're at in those areas, to bring them healing in that way. Those folks are a bit hard to find, however. Real ones are a bit hard to find.
Right. I do some of that work, but not a whole lot of that work because I like my licenses that I have.
She's a Capricorn. So again, when we're talking about drama, it's really hard to have these conversations and not push people's buttons or make people feel judged.
Right.
Because here's the thing. It is. And I think Marcia and I are both saying this today, that whatever you do in your life, go do it. Just understand why you're doing it.
Right, exactly.
Understand why. Be a participant in the accountability of why you do things. Mm-hmm. Because part of this feminine time frame is, why are you doing what you do, and how does it contribute to what you choose to bring into the world? So what are some I was going to say healthy, and I'm going to change that word because it would say that I am casting a judgment that that's an unhealthy thing. It would be unhealthy for me to have sex with 50 people in a day.
Well, that's because it's not in your vibration.
Absolutely not. I am such a one-person person. I am my wife is my person, and I am hers, and she is mine, and that is the holy covenant we have. That's because I'm wired that way. I know lots of people, actually, especially our younger generation, that are polyamorous people. So they're wired differently than me. I have no judgment with that. Yet know why you do what you do. Is it distracting you? Is it getting you out of the boredom of your life? So let's give our folks in the remaining minutes that we have here, let's give them some tools, Marcia. So say you're one of those people listening and you're like, oh my God, I kind of like having affairs because I'm bored in my life, or you're listening and you're like, oh wow, I guess I do get into text fights with my sister, or I love going to Facebook just to bait those people because I just can use it as an outlet. What are some other ways people can actually find purpose without substituting weird chemical highs? I'm going to call them weird chemical highs in the brain from negativity that we turn over to resolve to feel good. What are some ways?
Well, my favorite is going out in the forest or into the water. If I can get into water, that helps me a ton. Some of the other ways, though, is, we love to, both of us love to sing.
Oh,
we
gosh,
can
yes.
do that actually brings out the same brain chemicals if you get as excited about it.
Yeah.
So do go on a roller coaster, a real one.
Oh, God.
Not an emotional one.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun with your life. And if you ride motorcycles, go do it. If you ride a boat, go do it. Be careful.
Yeah. Bighorn Canyon, Google it. Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. But be careful in anything you do. But that not to bring in the energy of, oh my God, I'm going to die if I go out on my bike or my boat either. But have fun with it. Go into that space of the meditation, of the theta waves, of of clearing your head and allowing yourself to just be. Because then you can access the real you.
So, okay, I get to play. I'm not going to say devil's advocate. That's such a lame-o word. I'm going to play counterpoint for just a moment here. So I'm Jane Doe listening. I'm Joe Blow listening today. And I say, well, that sounds boring.
No, it's not boring, though. It brings you back to yourself.
Okay, but who the hell am I if I'm not doing something?
Don't you want to know who you are?
No, I'm a bad person. I've been told categorically I'm terrible. What if I sit with myself and I'm a piece of crap, Marcia?
Dude, you need a massage.
What if I get a little too excited from my massage and I'm a dude because I am not allowing true intimacy or energetic intimacy in my life and I'm embarrassed?
Well, then you should come to somebody like me who can help you take care of that problem. And I don't mean by giving you a happy ending.
She's not saying it's a happy ending. Oh my God. See, that's one of those things, if you were running for president, somebody would just pull that out and say, see, she's a happy ending
bet.
mama.
You bet. There's that drama thing.
Exactly, right? So what Marcia's talking about, and then, okay, go into counterpoint with me. Okay. It'll be fun. Okay. So, just being in yourself is the most powerful thing you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so if you were somebody hearing that, but you didn't believe it, what would the devil's advocate response be? To just be.
I can't do that because I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm bad.
I'm inherently bad.
Everybody
is allergic to me. If I have sex with somebody, then they're going to get sick.
God. Well, let me tell you, let's work on your self-love, first of all. Let's work on the love of the self. And see, and this is where I think we fall down in our culture because
we absolutely do. And that's why there's school shootings.
Oh God. And we don't even know what it means. I mean, look at me. I consider myself, not that I think I'm a superhero. Okay. I don't think I'm ordained by God or anything for these messages. I am somebody who's very aware of vibration. And I struggled for the first couple of weeks living in such a beautiful place that all it was just almost demanding that I receive. And I just kind of went into a little bit of a freak out of, well, I don't know what that means if I'm not producing something or giving, because I'm a channel, and then you come from that perspective of entertainment where it's like, well, you've got to put something great out because people, and this is my older years, gang. I'm not talking about what I'm doing here with you and Marcia in the studio. But even a bit to that degree, what are you putting out that represents where you are in the world? What we're talking about today is the feminine time frame asks us to be comfortable drawing through the heart chakra that which truly matters to us. So I'm going to give you all an exercise, and then we can sing a little, if you don't mind. Okay. So what this exercise is, and go here with me a minute. Many of us are taught to pray outside of ourselves, like to pray away. We're sending a prayer somewhere else, like up to God or out to the world. Mother, Father, God, or the great mother that has arisen, and this is what these angels talk about in terms of God, the great mother that has arisen, the mother aspect of God, wants us to, just as Marcia was saying, women are the receivers. So fellas, this is for you too. When you are, say you were meditating or praying on, gosh, I hope I get this great job. Don't take that hope, wrap it up in a paper airplane and throw it at the sky. Don't throw it away from you. Bring that great job in. Let the great mother of God, Father of God, same God, come through your heart chakra. Drag it through you. I feel the glory of this job. I feel how happy that this job, I'm pulling this job that's out in the universe. I'm pulling it to me like an aquarium filter right through my heart. And I bless it with the God that is me, the God within. And I pass it out the back of that heart chakra. So we pray inward, going through the body out, rather than throwing rocks that have messages on them at this big temple. We're not throwing it outward. We're sucking it through us. Lay in bed and just say, I feel, Mother, Father, God, let me bring you through me. Traditional Christianity calls that summoning the Holy Spirit. Yet we don't know how to do it because we haven't been taught. So what we're talking about today is one of the exercises you can have is substituting I'm going to go and throw the rock at Facebook. I'm going to throw the rock at the text. I'm going to throw the rock at having sex with 90 people as a distraction, if that's why you're doing those things. Bring the energy through. Feel how good it feels. Not I pray outward for this, but I know it's out there. I can see my best job, I'm going to get kind of old world here, $150,000 a year, a great group of people. I pull that job through my heart and I feel the glory of it. And I say, amen, Mother, Father, God, amen on top of that. Or so it is,
so
or
it is.
Blessed be, or whatever your modality of meditation is. And you let it through you. We are being asked to bring in. And for someone like myself, and I'll be the first person to point my finger at myself, who was literally trained by an extremely young, extremely masculine entertainment industry to put it out. Even me, even as the channel, when it came to my own needs and myself, I was taught by the ground out here in 2 weeks, no, this is what this feels like. And now I know how important it is to surround yourself with people who are okay with not having to pick at your vibration because it makes them uncomfortable.
Right, exactly.
This is very important. And it doesn't mean you have to cut people off. It just simply means if people cannot get into that space of receiving, because once you start being the Hoover vacuum cleaner of the universe, taking things through you, what happens if you're around negative Nancy? Just like the DNA, you take her through you. And fellas, this goes for you too.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Guys, even if you're heterosexual, you still have a feminine side and it still requires balance.
And it's still receiving. It's
Absolutely.
still receiving. This is why fellas love to be nurtured and fed and moo-mooed and whooshed. That's the feminine in there going, oh, take care of me. I like that.
Right.
Doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Welcome to the human race.
Yay!
We love you. So, Marcia, we have a few minutes here. We got about 10 minutes-ish left on our broadcast, give or take some change. And I would love to sing a song with you.
Awesome.
Because not that Marcia can't do it herself, she definitely can. Yet we would like, as you listen, place something that you would pray about or meditate on. And as we're singing, just allow that, whatever it's that you're meditating on or manifesting or praying for, allow it through the body, in through the chest, out through the back. Now you're going to feel something physical here. You're going to feel a chemical change in the brain. You're going to feel your body shift when we do this. And when you're done, and when we're done, I just want you to put that bee in your bonnet in the back of your brain. Lots of bees. Wow, that was an alliterative sentence. Because measure that feeling against the drama rush that we've been trained to seek externally. Measure the peace, measure the feeling that's going to come over you as you draw that through you. And start to realize that if there are people who want you to remain externally engaged in chaos, you got to figure out where you want your vibration to be in this time frame, because the universe is not going to make it happen for you at all. You are going to make it happen for you. So what song are we singing, Marcia?
Oh, one of your favorites, I think, Raglan Road.
Yes,
is that one.
I was just beaming that in my brain. I'm like, come on, let's do Raglan Road, but don't be bossy. Okay.
Ooh, we might be channels, right?
Yeah, we might be. That might be. So, and we both have these beautiful, gorgeous studio mics, and you'll hear it. So just be sensitive to proximity there, but we can go for it. So, whenever.
Okay. On Raglan Road, on an autumn day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I might one day rule. I saw the danger, yet I passed along the enchanted way. And I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On Grafton Street in November, we tripped lightly along the ledge. of a deep ravine where can be seen the worth of passion's pledge. The Queen of Hearts still making tarts, and I not making hay. Oh, I love too much, and by such is happiness gone away. I gave her gifts of the mind. I gave her the secret sign that's known to the artists who have known true gods of sound and stone, and word and tale I did not stint, for I gave her poems to say, with her own name there, and her own dark hair, like clouds over fields of May. On a quiet street where old coasts meet, I see her walking now, away from me so hurriedly. My reason must allow that I had loved not as I should, a creature made of clay. When the angel woos the clay loose his wings at the dawn of day.
Y'all feel that a little bit there? So then you can go. I love singing with Marcia. We do healing
amazing.
concerts. We have so much fun because as we're both vibrational beings, we're both singers.
And vibrational healers as well.
We
so
are
our
both.
voices automatically go to the place you need.
That's true. That's true. And that's how vibrational healing happens. And what is the other one? Is it Shularoon or
We do Shularoon quite a bit.
let's do Shularoon real quick. And the reason I'm saying that is I can feel a lot of theta waves up there. I can feel people just really experiencing some different vibrations. And we can do a shorter version of Shularoon just for time. Okay. I'll just follow you. But just go ahead and kind of lead out. And if you're finding that you're just getting in touch with this process of dragging Mother, Father, God through you to pray inward rather than outward, meditate inward. And we're just going to do a short little piece of this because even the Celtic language is a prayer. the nature of the
absolutely.
Celtic language. So go for it,
Gaelic,
Marcia.
yeah,
Gaelic,
yeah.
Gaelic. Thank you.
Yeah. Shul, shul, shul arun, shul gosaki, roga shul gokyon, shul godar salgas oleyon. Iskoche tu movan Island. I wish I was on yonder hill, 'tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, till every tear would turn a mill. Iskoche tu movan Island. Shul, shul, shul arun, shul gosaki, roga shul gokyon, shul godar sagas oleyon. Iskoche tu movan Island. I'll dye my petticoats, I'll dye them red, and round the world I'll bake my bread until my parents would wish me dead. Iskoche tu movan Island. Shul, shul, shul arun, shul gosaki, roga shul gokyon, shul godar sagas oleyon. Iskoche tu movan Island.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It's so good to sing with you.
It's so good to sing with you too. I miss it. And hey, this is what, if you were to come out to my house in Gallatin Gateway, okay, this is what we would do. We would sit around. I'd grab one of these 12 guitars up in my studio. We would sing.
And she would play them because I do.
That's okay, girl, because you sing it up. And we would create a healing vibration. So this is just a literally live in the studio healing session to show everybody, look at where your brain chemistry is right now. Look at where your heart chemistry is right now. Balance that against the vibration. Balance this peace vibration against the vibration when you compare it with the drama, the Facebook, the text, the news. Really take a look at that, because this is what Marcia and I are here to say today, is be mindful of the vibration that you choose to live your life within. No one is a victim in this feminine time frame.
Right, exactly. Make sure that you're keeping it at peace. This is peace. This is what peace feels like. And doesn't that feel elated rather than boring?
Yeah. I'm not bored. My brain chemistry is like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm doing
absolutely.
great here. So, I hope that our listeners today really got to experience this. And let me just leave you with this very quickly. And then, Marcia, I'm going to ask where you're going to be next, is that we all have a choice in this feminine time frame. We all have the choice of who do we choose to be and what do we surround ourselves with? And if we're trying to throw life rafts out to people who have chosen the lesson of addiction to drama, that's an actual bona fide PhD on the other side, okay? Leave people to their PhD. Look, just because you're majoring in English and they're in science, it doesn't make yours any better. You can just step away from that course of study if it's not for you, okay? Just step out of it and focus. Go resonate with Mother, Father, Earth. If you feel panicky like I did for 2 weeks after moving to Gallatin Gateway, because I was literally off-gassing with all of these demands that I had co-created. And some of them I hadn't co-created. It was like getting tentacles unwrapped from me. I mean, that's gross. That's another
Taking
podcast.
the fish hooks back out.
Take the fish hooks out and watch the barbs because they hurt. Yet a lot of this I co-created. So it's okay that we co-create these experiences. We're trying to learn about our worth, gang. It's okay. It doesn't make you lesser than. Yet pay close attention to the vibration of the quality and quantity of experiences that you have in your life.
Right.
Because the days of going in and saving somebody from their own life are far over. It doesn't mean we can't help. It doesn't mean we can't extend a hand. If they don't take the hand, keep on walking. And if you really want a very base level, good old Christian analogy for that, that's called throwing your pearls before swine, okay? It means if they ain't taking the bait, quit fishing in the same hole and go on. It's okay. It's okay. So thank you for joining us today. Marcia, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been awesome to do this again. I love it.
I love it. And maybe potentially if you're around Montana more, we can do this a little more.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love that.
So where are you going to be next? Tell people where you're next.
So next I'm in Portland, Maine. Yes, because I've never been to Maine before. So that'll be fun. That's on September 29th at the Illuminate Festival. You can go find out about more of those at illuminate.com. IlluminateFestivals.com, excuse me. So you can also find out more about me on Facebook and look up channelingdivine.com.
Also Instagram.
Yes,
Follow her on Instagram, you guys. She goes all over the United States and she puts up these incredible vibrational pictures of places she's been. These are very helpful. Follow me on Instagram too, gang, because I'm moving more to Instagram. We were just talking about this morning as we were having coffee on our back deck and looking at the gorgeous, Rocky Mountains. And I'm doing more work on Instagram just because Facebook has really become a place for people to argue and get nasty. And Instagram, it's all about images. And if we go back to the roots of language, images and storytelling were a very feminine modality, and linear language was a very masculine modality that, as the imbalanced portion of the masculine came in, was taken over to use as manipulation tools. Not to say language is manipulation, yet people can get down really weird rabbit holes of principle over people. So I'm still on Facebook, so are you. Find Marcia Reichert, find her on Channeling Divine. And those are the places to find her on Instagram under Marcia Reichert. Reichert. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can find me on Instagram too. And then y'all can catch up with me in Boulder, okay, on September 22nd, the Boulder Ascension Tour. Portland was flippin' amazing. We had a lady drive all the way up from Arkansas to attend.
That's awesome.
I know. And she was super cool. And her dog was awesome too. So, we had such a great time. We had a couple who drove down from Seattle for the Portland event. We had a woman who showed all the way up from Ellensburg, Washington, which is rural.
That's beautiful. Wow.
I know. It was amazing. So join us in Boulder, Colorado. If you're anywhere in that vicinity on September 22nd, October 6th, I'm going to be taking the Ascension Tour back to Billings, Montana. So I'll be in Billings, Montana on October 6th. So if you're in the Dakotas, that's a great place to come, Wyoming. And then after that, on October 20th, we're going to be in Minneapolis at the Lake Harriet Spiritual Center. So if you hit ascensiontour.com, gang, I would love to meet you in person. I'm a hugger, so don't be freaked out if I hug you. Marcia, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a hugger, and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so glad to meet you, guy. And I'll probably take a selfie with you because I'm that girl. So just know that.
And it might go up on Instagram.
Absolutely. So you can grab those tickets at ascensiontour.com. Check out where Marcia's going to be on Facebook and channelingdivine.com. And remember, wherever you go this week, you are the steward of the vibration that you wish to encounter in your life. See you next week.
Thank you.